चाहे तो Myself, Dr. Ramgulam Razdan. I am Professor, Head, Department Secretary, India's Medical College and Hospital, Indore. And I'll be speaking on suicide in youth. Suicide is one of the important problems all over the world, but it is more concerned with the youths because suicide is now increasing in youths, and furthermore, it is preventable. It is caused by the person himself, and he loses his life, and ultimately not only they suffer, but suffering is the family, suffering is the society as well. Society see it as one of the stigma they don't discuss about, but now the time has come. It should be considered one of the serious problem, should be discussed and should be prevented. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among school age group youths. However, suicide is preventable. The youth who are completing suicide typically give warning sign in their distress. So they need of identifying this warning sign by the parents, teachers, and friends. They are in a position to pick up these signs symptoms and help to the individual and prevent suicide. Most important is to never take these warning signs lightly or promise to keep them secret. So they should be discussed, this should be communicated. When all the adults and students in the school community are committed to making suicide prevention a priority, are empowered to take the correct action, we can help youths before they engage in behavior and irresistible consequences. So, how the society could be society could look, and the responsibilities of the family and the friends and other the person who are nearby. So, suicide, how it could be defined? Suicide derived from the Latin word meaning one own life, or to kill is a conscious act of self-endorsed annihilation. It is not a random or pointless act, but a way out of a problem or crisis that is causing mental suffering. Suicidal behavior or suicidality ranges from suicidal ideation and communication, suicide attempts, and complete suicide. So ultimately, the the suicide is ending life, the person himself, and killing himself. How the person is comes in a position that he himself. This is one of the everyone want to live happy life. Everyone want to enjoy the life, but there are circumstances and there are questions how they commit suicide. A person commits suicide. So before committing the suicide, there are suicidal ideas, and after coming these ideas, person sometimes okay ignores it is why I'm thinking about. Then if it is due to some reason more intense, then we communicate, start communicating to others, for family, friends, and other people surrounding, and they attempt, and sometimes it leads to uh, ultimately complete suicide. So one had to understand ultimate why these are there are certain uh, words used that needs to be their terms, they need to be identified. They should not be taken as seriously. They are well defined. And when we discuss about suicide, this terminology is being used. In this lecture, also will be using these words again and again. What is suicidal ideation? Thought about killing himself or herself. What is suicidal attempt? Life-threatening acts requiring medical attention that is committed with a conscious intent to end one's life. Same suicide can occur in individual faced with intolerable humiliation. What is parasuicide? Parasuicide behavior includes deliberate destruction of the body tissue without doubt suicidal intent. Suicidal gestures, behavior purposely undertaken by an individual in which outcome reasonably likely to self-harm. Self-mutilation refers to the deliberate, direct destruction or alteration of body tissue without conscious suicidal intent. What is deliberate self-harm? It could refine this act with non-fatal outcome. So, in the suicide, it is not essential that once idea come, then persons the plan and commit suicide. The end result may not be just ending the life. The person may, before that, show gestures in certain behavioral traits, and they may have their mutilation of their body parts, and they may not die, but they may survive. That is known as deliberate self harm or non fatal self harm. What are common causes, methods of committing suicide in India? Most is important is hanging, then come poisoning, self-immolation, and drowning. If we see this table, it shows that what is range of that various pathopathology of way of committing suicide. First is was the consuming sleeping pill. It was in 0.5%, drowning 5.4%, and fire self-molestation 7.2%. By hanging 14.6%, by taking poison 17 to 9%. You see, the most important and most that after hanging it is the most important way of committing suicide. Hanging, about 40.6% people commit suicide by way of hanging. Self-inflicting injuries 0.5%. Jumping in rivers or wells 1.8%. By coming under runway vehicle. This is very brutal suicide 2.5%. Touching electrical wire 0.7%. Other means 7 to 7. So this table indicates this most important modes of use of societies by hanging. Second important is by poisoning. Then comes your coming under running vehicle or trains. Drowning is and firearm self-pollution. These if you become newspaper, you'll find that one or two persons they have come to suicide in the town. As they come to story are described the methods of they commit suicide, why they commit suicide. Indian syndrome is alarming. 15 suicide took place every 1 hour. Uh, like previous years, now the suicide is increasing gradually in subsequent years. Maximum number of reported in Maharashtra, followed with Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, and in other states. Pondicherry reported highest rate of suicide, 23.2%, followed by Sikkim, 28.9 in the Andaman Nicobar Island, 27.5% Telangana and Chhattisgarh. Suicide rate in cities by her as compared to all India suicide rates. Uttarakhand has reported highest percentage increase, casualty increasing. Dur Bilenga has reported the higher rate of suicide 39%, while Ranchi has reported the lowest rate of 53 in mega cities. So the town-wise you see the in Durg Bhilai Nagar was highest. So come if we try to see what were the factors by which for which the person commits suicide. Most importantly was the the columns after that in the per individual that relationship was most important 50.1%, and family problem was in 34%. Illness was 17.2%. Failure in examination were responsible in 1,360 cases, and this is the figure of 1995. Total overall male compared from female ratio was 68 to 32%. Means male suicide commits more than as compared to suicide. If you compare boys and girls, then the suicide in girls more. For it is ratio is 47 into 53. One suicide out of every suicide was committed by a housewife. Nearly 70.5% male victims were married and 67.3% female victims were married. Most victims of suicide were coming from income group less than 1 lakh. During 2015, of suicide victims belong to the income group 1 lakh and above to less than 5 lakh. 21.2% of the suicide victims were educated up to middle, uh, that is 19.7% of the victim educated to primary level 13.8%. And you see, like previous hanging, poison, self-immolation, drowning, prominent models of complete suicide in this study which has been reported here. Family following this study was major cause suicide committed by 34%. Of total followed by illness, 17.2%. Majority of mass family suicide were reported from Madhya Pradesh, followed by Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and death during 2015. This is one of the report that shows that the rate of suicide rate in 2011 was 11.2%, and roundabout it is, you see, roundabout, it shows that no, there's not it is roundabout that sometimes the people report that it's increasing. In certain areas, it is increasing. You will see this report of 2015. Recent report you see 2022, they increase a lot. State-wise distribution, the Maharashtra it is 12.7%, Tamil Nadu 20%, West Bengal 10.9, Karnataka 8.1, Madhya Pradesh 7.5, Telangana 7.7, Kerala 5.2, Gujarat 5.4, Chhattisgarh 5.3, Andhra Pradesh 4.7, Rajasthan 2.8%. Suicide victim sex and age ratio it is which, that said that above 60 years it was and above 6.32, 45 and 60, 19,857%, and 30 and above in 32,600, 18 and below 26,883, 14 and below 63,000, below the 14 years 17 years. So here you can see the the age where the most of people from suicide is 30 to 45 years. The overall male female ratio that already I have described, it was higher in male as compared to females. So this again, this uh, you see diagram shows that 90.1% the people were self-employed, 17.8% were daily wages, 16.7% housewife, other 23%, 23.8%. You see, here the housewife 16, 17.7% is a big figure. There are certain warning signs that should not be ignored, and this should be taken seriously. Behavioral warning sign, one could say, and second group are the physical warning sign. Behavioral warning sign includes person start talking about suicide. मैं मर जाऊंगा, मैं अब खत्म कर लूँ, मेकिंग सुसाइड अपनी योजना बनाने लगते हैं, सेल्फ हार्मिंग बिहेवियर अपने आप कभी कभी काट लेना, मारने लगना, प्राय सुसाइड पहले किसी ने कोशिश किया था ज्यादा, acting reckless, engage in risky activity, seemingly without thinking, like reckless driving, reckless that doing such type of sense of hopelessness. Person when they start talking, life is doomed and it's not worth living like that without withdrawal from friends, family, and society. This is one of these important warning signs and symptoms. Physical warning sign could be loss of interest in the personal hygiene or appearance, physical apathy, sudden and extreme challenges in eating pattern, loss of interest in sex, increase in minor illness, anxiety, agitation, unable to sleep, and difficulty in sleeping in time. Verbal expression of suicide intents or maybe I wish I were dead. अच्छा होता है कि मैं मर जाता. दूसरा कैसे आई एम गोइंग टू एंड मैं मरने जा रहा हूँ और उसके बाद में नो वन केयर्स इफ आई लिव डाई मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है जो मैं मर जाता हूँ माई फैमिली विल बी बेटर ऑफ विदाउट मर जाता हूँ मेरा परिवार अच्छा महसूस करेगा आई वोंट बी प्रॉब्लम मर जाता हूँ तो मैं किसी के लिए समस्या नहीं आई कांट टेक इट एनीवन इट इज नो यूज मैं अपनी बोझ नहीं बनना चाहता हूँ अपनी समस्या किसी को नहीं देना चाहता. Then comes individually, you see, these are warning signs. That should be very seriously taken seriously. Person start talking about that about in these words about society and such type of behavior. Then I think one has to take it very seriously. There are certain protective factors also in a person, like individual level. It is good mental health and well-being. Good physical health, absence of alcohol and other drug column, sense of control, worse life circumstances, sense of meaning and purpose of life, positive outlook and attitude to life. Social level, the protective factors are physical, emotional security, family harmony, supportive and caring family, supportive social relationship, no family history of suicide or mental illness. Life environment, the indicates safe and secure live environment person has, financial security, employed, positive education, and experience and little exposure to environmental stress. These are certain indicator of that person has some protective factors and there are less chances of suicide. Certain myths are there that people who talk about suicide never attempt suicide. It is myth. Once if only any person does, this is an indicator that person may commit suicide. It should be discussed. Second, people who threaten or attempt suicide are just again attempt. No, if a threaten, then this should be taken seriously. He may commit suicide. Talking about suicide will encourage suicide. No, it helps the people surrounding understand that they can help in preventing the suicide by a person. Only certain type people become suicide. Is it not so? Any person, anytime they may commit suicide. There are certain factors they have described, and because of that, they may end their life. There are certain facts very important. Talking about suicide, I say help sign to someone thinking about life. Uh, there is no type of person being suicidal experienced by all. Suicidal assessment, how to assess? That most important first should identify this one that can modify and this could be reduced. Conduct suicidal inquiry, ideation, intent, plan, behavior from person. Detailed history should be taken from person one to one in isolation. Person should be brought into the confidence that the whatever information they are giving, they will not leaked. Determine risk level and appropriate prevention to address injuries and documentation is very important. Every case is have legal aspect, so documentation were more. Clues about 5 action to help troubled person. First, most important is connect. Second, listen. And third, understand. Express concern and seek help. Make contact, reach out, talk to the person, notice their plan. So, to be in touch with patient, be in contact, and it's very important. More secondly, listening to the person. Take the time and really pay attention. It should be made confident. They should start believing they are taken. We are listening to them, and he'll be taken care of. And one should say that you don't have to have all the answer, and but you whatever you say, will try to understand, listen you, and solve the problem. Understand, not pay attention. Let them know now are appropriate that why they are going through. Self-concern. Say that you are care, worried, and want to help. So one has to express therapists that they are going to seek help. Tell them you want to go with them to talk to third person. Prefer all adults and experience the ability to help in large and circle support. Managing society. First is education to the community, therapy, medication, and crisis management. If person is in crisis, you see this table shows indicator. If you are taking interview with a patient, he is expressing suicidal idea, then what do you have to do? You take detailed history and try to know whether the patient has suicidal plan or doesn't have. He doesn't have, then still it has to be taken care of. If has plan, then taken care of. Patient has access to the lethal means, has poor social support and work, cannot make contact with safety, cannot make a contact safety. As only we are surprised. He is very risky person. He can commit any time suicide. Person does not have access to the lethal means and good social support, able to make contact with family, evaluate of psychiatric disorder and stress, treat and with antidepressant, and refer for alcohol rehabilitation. Individual family therapy is important. When the patient does not respond optimally, then what to do? Refer to psychiatric consultant and to be hospitalized if necessary by psychiatrist. If person does not have suicide plan, evaluate psychiatric disorders and then even if they should be taken care of. Psychiatric disorder they should be treated by psychiatrist. Goal of suicidal prevention: increase community awareness about suicide is a preventive health problem, as I already said. Increase awareness of depression and primary care of suicide, because you see in depression every 10% has suicidal idea, and 1/10 they end the life by means of complete suicide. And change the public health perception. It is, they should talk about. This should not be considered as one of the stigma. Increase availability of public to recognize, intervene when someone knows about suicide. By the suicidal patient in hospital. Then I said that the patient has a total suicidal plan, then immediately they should be hospitalized. And they have a strong like evidence that he may commit suicide, they should be hospitalized. Severe depression with suicidal ideation and attempt should be hospitalized. Where there are some other Problem like difficulty in feeding and difficulty taking herself. Now, patient must never be left alone, must be placed in secure room and continuously monitoring by staff. Patient must be in line of sight of all the every 15 minutes. All belongings must be that introverted, cushion, and hazardous items and knives, medicines, item, and long card must be stored in secure place. They will take note from patient. Now concluding my presentation, suicide is one of the common problems that mind is responsible for killing life himself. So man plans, man ends the life. So it means it is one of the preventive disorder. It needs spreading the awareness about suicide prevention, this indicating suicide, reducing loss, reducing bias against suicidal patient, and connecting and understanding the illness in the patient. Better interdepartmental coordination and frequent psychiatric referral for suicide intervention. And lastly, ensuring follow-up in psychiatry. Thank you very much.